Part 2. Part 2.
What did you just put in there?
I put water in here.
Why?
Water to warm it up. Chris.
Oh. I'm about to.
All right. Oh, stop it.
Oops.
Out of there. Part 2. Art.
Part 5.
Part 5. But we're condensing into just 2 parts because I've erased all the other parts. So they're all 12 seconds long. So, I walked up to Art. Oh, I was hee-hawing. Hee-humming, hum-hawing. I don't know how to say it. And the feeling did not go away. I was waiting for it to just subside and for Holy Spirit to be like, okay, fine, you win.
Which never happens.
Which never happens. So I was still standing there and he's like, really, dude, just go say hi. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Dude.
And so I went and I ran down the alley. I sat down next to him. I said hi and we started talking. And just talked, what are you doing? What are you up to? He's got a boat that's right up the street and he's working on, and he starts just laying out all these stories of how he has always worked on boats his whole life. He's from Minnesota, and just telling me about his life and the things that he's done and types of boats that he's worked on, and we have a really nice conversation. We sit there for probably about an hour. No thanks. Okay. Thanks, babe. And just talk and get to know each other. And so I in the middle of our conversation, I just go, are you hungry, man? The Chinese restaurant right up the road, that's my family's. I can get you some food. And he was like, sure, yeah, I'll take some food. So I went back. It wasn't like he was like, can I have some food or anything? I just offered, and he was like, sure, yeah, I'll take it. And so I went back up to Siam, and I was like, Mark, I need some Siam chow mein. Don't ask me why. Put it in a to-go box. Goodbye. And then I ran back down, and he sat there, and he ate chow mein, and we just sat and talked. We had a really great time. And at the end of it, we exchanged phone numbers. We talked about Jesus. Oh, the main thing was that I got there, and he had an amputated leg, so he's got a prosthetic leg, and his back was really hurting. That's why he had stopped to sit, because his back was just hurting him. And so I just asked if I could pray for him. And so I prayed for him. Okay, bring it. Excuse us for a second. We've got to teach a girl how to be respectful. Okay. So I prayed for his back. And just for pain to leave and stuff. And after a little while, after I had prayed for his back, I asked him to check it, and he was like, oh, it's fine, whatever. But then after a little while, he's like, you know what, it does feel better. Maybe your prayers are working. And I'm like, yes. Yes, they do work. Jesus loves you. So we talked, we exchanged phone numbers, and that began a friendship where we started talking on the phone. He'd leave voice messages telling me how much he appreciated, being able to talk to me. I saw him a couple more times that spring, just working on his boat. And then I lost contact with him for almost 3 months. I called him a couple of times. He didn't answer his phone. And so I just thought, all right, Lord, well, you had that was great, and maybe one day I'll see him again. And then I get a phone call in August from him saying that he had been hit by a car walking across the street and had been in the hospital for the last 3 months, recovering from this injury. They had to do a 6-hour surgery on his leg, and had been in the hospital fighting infection, and was now finally out of the hospital, and he wanted to let me know. And so we started up our conversations again on the phone, like, how can I help you? And, what do you need? And so we talked back and forth about him coming to our town, and because he lived about a half an hour away in a camper. And he was having a really hard time because he's got one bad leg and no leg. So he only has one leg and it's bad. And so he comes to town and in October and just decides that he's not going to leave. He's going to long-term rent a room at a hotel and just stay here through the winter. And the Lord had prepared my heart, like, because he just came to visit for the weekend just to get some stuff in order with his boat and things. And we had been praying just about how is he going to make it through the winter in his camper. And I had been talking to him about it, and the weather was starting to turn. And it was on my heart just to pray that he recognize his limits and physically his limits, and to just maybe stay put in Cooley just to hang out. And he did. By that weekend, he had rented himself a room. And when he did that, the Lord just impressed upon me that, and now it begins. You know what I mean? Like, so you had cultivated a relationship, you built trust, just in, I'm very non-threatening. And when he got here, I was the main person who he interacted with. And so now begins what it is to serve, what it is to be a friend, and to reveal God's heart toward art to art. And so the Lord had me do all sorts of stuff, and has me doing all sorts of stuff. I give him rides, I pick up his groceries, I check his mail, I just come over and visit, and we go to his camper every once in a while to pick up stuff, and I am his friend. But what the Lord has done in this relationship too is that Art has become a friend to me as well. This isn't just a one-sided thing. And that's something else I think that the Lord is revealing about who he is, that our relationship is not one-sided with him. That yes, he does so much for us in relationship, but we're a part of it too, And so as I've been commissioned to just reveal God's heart to Art, and to love him and serve him and be a friend to him, Art has become a friend to me. And he bought Christmas presents for all the kids and for Mark and for me, and it's like, this guy doesn't make a lot of money at all. But he wants to be able to give back to this relationship. He knows that I am busy. I run a restaurant. I have kids. I'm a busy person, and yet every 2-3 days out of the week I'm with Art doing stuff with him. He's not the type of person who just takes. He wants to give back in this relationship, and so he does a lot for me too. He buys me Snicker bars and asks what I want at the store, and thinks of little things. I noticed that you like this, so I thought I'd get this for you. He really is involved in this relationship. It's not one-sided. And so the Lord has been revealing to me over the last year and a half anyway, but much more so through this practical relationship, that it's not one-sided, that it's very much a relationship. It's a give and take. It's a serving each other. It's loving each other. It's thinking of each other and how we can just show each other different ways that we love each other, and I know that that's something that we know, foundationally, yes, we play a part in the relationship. We serve God. We worship God. We do things for God, whatever. But in the context of a relationship, and to see it walked out practically with a person who is not able to give back what I'm able to give him, the things that he does for me feel like so far and above what he needs to do for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so sweet. And really means a lot when he wants to buy me one Snicker. But not just one Snicker. Get yourself a couple. You know, I know how much you love them. Get yourself a couple. Man, he doesn't have to do that. And that's not why I'm in this relationship, to get anything back from him. So the things that he does for me are so sweet and really touch my heart. And what the Lord has kind of been revealing to me is that that's how he feels to me, about me. You know, he doesn't need me to do anything for him. He doesn't need me to give back to him. It's not like if I didn't do anything in our relationship, he'd be suffering, you know. But the things that I do for him, the love that I have for him, and the ways that I want to show him are so sweet to him, you know. They really bless him because he does so much for me, you know. It's like, I can't offer you much. I have a Snickers, you know. You want a Snickers? That he's like, oh, I did not have to do that. Thank you, you know. And it sweetens our relationship. So that is something that the Lord has been teaching me about love, just in context of my relationship with Art. And through Art, I've met a bunch of people that I would have never met. Through work, I've met a lot of people that I would have never interacted with before, that I you know, have been living here as long as I have, maybe longer, that I haven't known, or have been here for years and I didn't know. But he's opened up different social groups to me, you know, where I was stuck kind of confined to my little, like, here's my little church group, and we hang out with each other, and we do these certain things together, and we go over to each other's houses, and there's really not much to do in town, so it's not like we go out and meet new people or anything, you know. To now I'm seeing people who I see at the food bank, and I see at Safeway that I would have never noticed before, but now I'm like, oh, hey, I know you from this place, and, you know, we talk and create relationship, and I've started to know so many more people. So anyway, that's really special and cool, and how, and the Lord has said in every situation, like, I really love that person, you know. Here's another person that you can just convey your heart to, convey my heart to, you know. And just love them, like, give them the time of day, please, because they're important to me, where I wouldn't have before. I've met people out of town, like Bruce, you know, and the Lord has stirred my heart to invest in especially the elderly, and that's a point that I do want to make, that the Lord has opened my eyes to see how we as a society have really, like, cut off the elderly, because our view of them is if they're not useful, they're not useful. And the older people get, the less use we have, because they can't do as much. They, you know, and so there are a lot of men and women who have kind of been tossed to the wayside because they're not as mobile, or they need more help than they used to, or and that is that just is a tragedy, and it really grieves the Lord, because they're important. I know for myself, as I get older, I don't feel older. I talk with Art, and he's like, I don't understand how this happened, Angie. I was 50-something. Like, it just feels like last year, and it's been 10 years. And all of a sudden now I can't walk, and I can't get up. He's a very active guy who's confined to a body that can't be active. And it drives him crazy. He gets stir crazy all the time because he can't move like he wants to. And he's active, and he works out, and he wants to go and get stuff done, and he's stuck in a body that has one bad leg. So to hear from him, like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how I got here. I don't feel like I should be in this body. I don't feel like I should be as immobile as I am, and I am. You know, his mind is not gone. And there are so many people out there who society have just tossed to the side and gone, I just don't want to bother with you anymore. Like, if you can't do something for me, then there's no point. Who the Lord really loves and values, and wants to pour into them and go, man, you are so special to me, and you have not lost your identity. You have not lost your worth. just because you've gotten older. Like, you are who I created you to be until the end. You know, like, you never lose that.
Yeah.
So that's been something he's really been instilling in me, to go love practically the people who most other people have stopped loving, have stopped investing in. I never stop investing. So that's been, I think that overall has been what he's been teaching me about love. And there are lots of other things, stuff in my marriage, stuff with the kids, young kids who need a mama, you know, where the Lord has opened doors to relationship in a lot of ways and had me walk this stuff out practically. And that has been really cool to see. This has been a much harder year. This last year was a much more difficult year. Just being kind of thrust into having to walk out what he's taught me.
Yeah.
For sure. But it's also been a really fruitful year. And I've seen a lot more and experienced a lot more this year than I did the year before, where it was just sitting and soaking up, and now it's walking out. So, and then this year is Victory, and which I'm really looking forward to, because I have no idea. He's revealing humility and love in ways that I didn't expect him to. So I fully expect that I'm going to be surprised by how he reveals Victory this year. But there are definitely, like, I've got a list. I'm like, victory over these things? Is this victory in this one? And I know I already have it. We'll see how it manifests itself in this new year of 2018. So that's what we've got. She looks like she's going to fall asleep, so I don't think she has anything to add. Do you have anything to add, Nancy?
Well, I was just thinking about the victory thing, and that I imagine it's going to be victory.
Don't do it, kids!
What it really means to walk it out the victory, whether we see it or not. It's
yeah.
I am victorious now. Versus have victory over all these, not that he won't.
Yeah.
But this is a result.
Yeah.
I mean, no, this isn't a result. This is just the victory is won in the faith.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. You know, what came to my mind last night and this morning, I was thinking about Art, was the what you had told me about the woman whose son had tumors in his eyes and
On 700 Club.
Yeah. So on 700 Club, about how she just began to declare victory, thanking God for victory over her son, when everyone said, all the professionals and experts said, sorry, he's going to lose his sight. Maybe even his eyes? I don't know.
Yes, I can't remember the details, but it was
Hopeless
bad.
situation.
It was bad.
Yeah. And she began to thank God for victory over that. And so the Lord was he was talking to me about, I was thinking in context of Art, just being able to say, Lord, thank you that you've made him strong. Thank you that he has strong shoulders.
Amen.
Thank you that that he doesn't have infection. Thank you for victory over his infection in his leg. Thank you for strong muscles and strong legs and just a strong body. And begin to declare that every day.
Yeah.
And do that in every area of my life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because
Thank him for that the infection is healed.
Yeah.
Because he does have an infection, but it's been healed already.
Yeah.
So we speak out in faith the finished work.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's good.
You're totally, you know what you're saying. I know that there's been movements where they go as far as to say, no, you don't have that.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
no. We never want to discount what's going on.
Yeah. Like,
And
your arm is going this way. No, you don't have a broken arm.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yes, I do.
But we declare victory over it, and that's what I love about the teachings of Dan Moeller and Bill Johnson, that they're like, go to your doctor, because the doctors can be a part of the miraculous victory.
Yeah.
You know, like they can be witnesses
Yes.
of seeing this. We don't go, no, don't worry. Oh, you have cancer. Don't worry about it. No, you don't have cancer. Like, no, go to your doctor. Like, you know,
Yeah.
do the things that you need to be wise. But don't ever stop declaring victory
Yeah.
and thanking the Lord for what He's already done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good. I'm going to stop this
Okay.
now. And I love you. Bye.